Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is November 23rd, 2021, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, gold tumbles from 1860-ish level down to 1800. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. But first, looking at the major economic events of the day out of the European Union at 10:30 South African time. German flash manufacturing and services PMI numbers coming out. Now, Germany is the largest economy in the European Union, so this is an important number that we do want to know when it's coming out and how it's going to actually fruition. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro trickles lower and continues that weakness. In terms of the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both sell off yesterday. Looking at commodities, gold tumbling, oil unchanged. Looking at the stocks across the board, we're showing weakness. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, pretty much unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're looking at the Euro USD on its lows, 112.37. Unbelievable. I mean, it just keeps on getting weaker and weaker. If we look at a longer time frame just to see where we are, this is a daily, okay? So this has been the lowest for the year. If we look at a weekly, this has been since the pandemic started that we weren't trading, or pre-pandemic area, where we weren't trading in this type of area. So this takes us back all the way back to June 2019, which is about 2 years ago, before the pandemic actually started. So in all intents and purposes, we're still there. We're still at somewhat of a support level at this 112. So we may see a bounce here, okay? Because the moves down, as you can see, is getting less and less, okay? This was the first move, A, B, and C. This is your C move, and the C move is not going as fast, okay, downward. So we may see a bounce here as we get closer to this area. Looking at the GBP USD also did weaken, but not much further, okay? We're looking at a weekly chart here. If we look at a 4-hour chart, you could see it's bottoming out here. If the Aussie USD is on its lows, but also bouncing off of this low, if we look at a 4-hour chart, you could see that a bit clearer. But it looks like we've capitulated in terms of our downwards momentum, okay? So I don't think we're going to have much more downwards momentum, but I think we're going to bounce off of this area. I'm going to find a new range, okay? That's what I would anticipate in these type of levels. Now, jumping in commodities, gold, take a nosedive. Look at that. From 1860-ish level down to 1807 right now. So 1800 is that area, and I do expect it to bounce off of it, okay? Even though it's showing some weakness here, you know, it is still something of trading in a range, okay? The upper range also looking at 1900, lower range 1720. That is the, you know, larger range of the range. But now we look like we're coming back into the 1828 to 1720-ish level. So that's something to consider as well. I'll let it go for now, because I don't think we're going to, you know, sell off that much more today, but something to keep an eye on as this continues to develop. Now, looking at crude oil, pretty much unchanged at 76 from 75 yesterday. Now, jumping into the big board, this is the Dow Jones. Dow Jones significantly lower this morning. Okay, you could see that this morning, trading down to 35,400-ish level, 460. Now, as that previous chart looks, okay, this is a significant support area. Okay, because this was previous resistance on several levels, right? We hit this area quite some time, and that was a subsequent support, and boom, we're right there at that support level. Okay, so if this is breached, we could definitely see it go back to the 34,400-ish area, okay, which is 1,000 points still on the downside, okay? This could still fruition on the downside, so something to consider as this unfolds later today. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, NASDAQ also sold off quite significantly yesterday after hitting its record highs of 16,742, okay? It's a pump and dump kind of situation. I'm not saying that it's a sell, but you kind of see that push up and then, you know, no more buyers following through, and then falling apart. And the real telltale sign is to see how it's going to be trading today going into the end of the weekend. Now, Thursday is Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a holiday that's celebrated and the markets will be closed. But historically speaking, the day after Thanksgiving is usually a rally day. So just keep that in mind as that happens as well. Now, looking at the individual stocks, Apple did sell off yesterday after hitting a high of 164. Okay, retracing there. Facebook also retracing. Amazon, look at that retracement from 3,700 down to 3,564, okay, over a $200 retracement. Looking at Microsoft, also retraced a little bit yesterday after hitting all-time highs. Okay, so the stocks are making a little bit of a correction together with the markets, which is normal. Okay, that's what I would expect it to be, especially going into this time of the year, people booking their money. So that's something to consider as we go into today's trading. Looking at Bitcoin, lastly at 56,000, doesn't look like it's going lower. Okay, so keep that in mind as this unfolds later today. If you see it starting to bounce a little bit harsher, then we may see a bounce. 3 days a trick, because we're looking at a 3-day. We had 3 down days. I expect the 4th day to actually bounce. So that's something to consider here for today's trading. This is Fred Razak, and I wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.